To the research objectives. The general objective of the study is to examine the impact of demonetization on the various sectors. The study considered S&P, CNX, Nifty index as proxy for stock market behavior. So specific objectives are to examine the variation at various sectors in Nifty, to see the volatility in market. Now we come to the data and methodology. The benchmark index of National Stock Exchange S&P, CNX, Nifty selected as a sample to see the impact of demonetization on the stock market. We have taken the closing price of Nifty index from September 2 2016 to Jan 10, 2017. The total of 88 trading days were considered, representing 44 as pre-demonetization period and other 44 as post-demonetization period. The date of announcement of demonetization was taken as a benchmark to divide the trading days into the pre and post periods. The data is collected from Capital IQ database.
The test for equality of variances, here the significance value is less than 0.05, which suggested all the sectors were impacted by demonetization, but except PSU Bank, Nifty PSU Bank, with significance value is more than 0.005, which suggests that it was not impacted by demonetization, as PSU Bank value was 0.83 and 0.82, which was greater than 0.0 on S&P CNX Nifty index in various sectors. These results suggest that there was a significant impact of demonetization on all the 13 sectors which we have taken, except PSU Bank, which does not have a significant impact of demonetization.
Based on analysis, we find that there is significant negative impact of demonetization on the stock market movement. The market index has gone down in the post-demonetization period. The possible decline is due to the negative sentiments which investors have generated due to lack of liquidity prevailing in the market due to demonetization. The impact of demonetization was very high in the initial 3-4 weeks, but later, with the increasing liquidity in the market, the stock again leading to pre-demonetization levels. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shipra and Mayank. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sonali Yadav, Assistant Professor from GD Goenka University, for the paper presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, here I am Dr. Sonali Yadav, Assistant Professor at GD Goenka University. As you can see, the title of my paper is Causal Relationship Between Foreign Institutional Investments and Return on Bombay Stock Exchange in India. Now, since morning we have been discussing and deliberating on the issue of financial inclusion. Yes, it is a very important issue in itself. This topic may not be directly linked to it, but there are certain questions that come to my mind. We want to increase financial inclusion, but what if we are lacking or we are falling short of funds? If I don't have funds in my hands, where do I look for funds? Foreign institutional investments are an important source of funds in case there is shortage of fund within the domestic territories of a country. Now, why would any investor, and that too an institutional investor, make an investment in a country like India? What is that one thing that attracts investments from abroad? Definitely, for any investor, it would be the returns. Now, foreign institutional investors, when they come to India, they come in the form of investments in various forms. One of the very important is investments in the stock markets. And since 1991, due to liberalization, we have been following and encouraging foreign institutional investors a lot. Now, I see there are a lot of issues which come with the foreign institutional investors. Buy the returns to the foreign institutional investors. Do the returns in Indian stock market attract foreign institutional investors, or returns are due to foreign institutional investors? The relationship is one way, two way, bi-directional, or there is no relationship at all. Now, what period should I select when I do this kind of an issue? I selected a current period of last 1 year, since there was a surge of institutional investments flowing into the markets, and our markets, stock markets, became very volatile during that period. This new government is very encouraging towards and encouraging a lot of foreign institutional investment. So before getting into actually dealing with my current study, I just want to give you a reference of few studies which support that returns in any stock market causes or increase or invites foreign institutional investments. These are the latest studies that I have quoted, and there are a lot of studies which support the fact that foreign institutional investments cause returns. The period I have selected is 1 year period only. I wanted to do my study for a short period of time, 1st of April 2015 to 31st of March 2016. Since I wanted to find out the causal relationship, the most appropriate test in this case would be the Granger's causality test, which was established in 1969, and it holds its importance till date. I had to take up the time series data from the stock markets. I took out the closing prices of Bombay Stock in BSE Sensex, foreign institutional purchases, foreign institutional sales. Later on, these Sensex prices were converted into returns, and the final data set series consisted of these following series: BSE return, foreign institutional purchases, foreign institutional sales, and the difference between foreign institutional purchases and sales, that is the net investments which are coming into India for the period under study. So these were the series, and an initial plot gave me an idea that the series was almost stationary. So since the data taken was time series in nature, so it is very important to do an initial check for stationarity. A visual graphic gave me quite a clear picture of the stationarity, but then I had to statistically test also. So these are the results of the initial check of stationarity on all the series which were taken. As you can see, the probability value in all the cases is less than 0.05, which speaks for itself that the series does not have a problem of unit root. That means the series are stationary and they can be further used for carrying out my analysis. So after clearing or being confident about the unit root problem in my series, I conducted a very basic test of causality. I wanted to find out whether one by one on all the series I had conducted a Granger's causality test, and these were the hypotheses at each level which was conducted. And in short, I would say one by one, when all these tests were conducted, I could find no causation of FIIs towards returns and vice versa. These were the very surprising findings from my study. All my hypotheses could not be rejected. You can see all these values have come more than 0.05, which speaks that for the period under study, when we were talking of lot of inflow of foreign money into India, returns were not the important factor which were bringing foreign institutional investments. Now I end my paper here, but it is not an end in itself, because now from here emerges another questions that if not returns, which is established by many better researchers before me, what are the other factors which are leading or inviting foreign institutional investors? After review of many literatures, it comes to the to my knowledge that inflation rates, interest rates, stability of government, depreciating currency values, these are many other factors which invite foreign institutional investments in a country. The further scope of the study would be carried on in future. So I end my study here, and which gives us all a thought about the various other options this study opens before us. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer.
So you have studied for last 1 year?
Yes, sir.
So you have mapped in for FII inflow?
Yes.
So what is the component of P notes in that? Have you got in the entire amount of money that has come percentages come to be? Have you studied that?
That breakup, as such, I have not gone through. The thing is, I have taken directly from the NSDL website, I have taken the net purchases and sales data, total sale. What is the composition of it? Definitely that breakup I have not done for the current study.
So it is very important to do that.
Yes, okay.
Because unless and until you do that, you will not have clarity on really what component is FII, what component is others.
Okay.
To kind of come to a conclusion in terms of is really their value, is there value in the amount of money that is coming in or the value in the stocks?
Okay.
Money is getting
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sonali, for sharing your views. Now I would like to invite Professor Surbhi Jain from IMS Noida for paper presentation.